anime characters with abilities that I refuse to explain. That is what we're gonna be talking about in this video. And you gotta understand one thing, like anime is such an integral part of Eastern media. Like bro, when we're talking anime, we're talking about a type of media here, not a genre, right? And that's why when somebody mentions stuff about, okay, who's the strongest character in anime, or who's the most this and that in anime, we're talking about thousands and thousands of works here, no problemo. And when we're talking about stuff of that amount, then Gojo's ability is comparatively actually kind of easy to understand. Like, if you guys thought that Gojo's ability was in any way complicated, brother, some of the characters that are coming up in this video are going to absolutely baffle you. And now, Gojo's not going to be in this list. Let me give you like an attempt on explaining Gojo's abilities, right? Okay, so his most infamous ability is his Infinity Barrier, right? Which basically gives him a... Okay, maybe that took me more than a paragraph to explain, but like, you get what I mean. Get what I mean? We're gonna be talking about characters like Hisoka's bungee gum, or whatever number of abilities Ajimu Najimi has from Medaka Box. Like what? Okay, yeah, we're gonna be talking about a girl who apparently has more than like 1 trillion abilities. Like what? But for every single character, I am going to at least give an attempt on trying to explain them, and then put them on a tier list on whether I can be successful in explaining them or not. And oh, this is going to be a really interesting one. But if that interest gets to you, then be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell button to stay notified. And with that being said, let us start the evaluation. Sung Jinwoo. Now meet the potential man of Korean media, because Solo Leveling was such a waste of potential that just like somehow by some miracle became a One Punch Man clone. Okay, but like when we're talking about the main character's abilities in any kind of anime, like say for example My Hero Academia. Okay, My Hero was a bad example because Deku gets like so many abilities by the end of it, but his base ability is literally just super strength, right? Really damn simple. What's another example? Yeah, Dragon Ball. Goku has like teleportation, and he also has a laser beam, and he's also just really strong and he can transform and shit. Okay, that gets the like a little bit more complicated side. But when we're talking about Sung Jinwoo, we're talking about an entire arsenal, quite literally. Okay, let me indulge you in a little bit of Sung Jinwoo, right? Sung Jinwoo has super speed, he has super strength. He has like numerous weapons, of which one of them stuns, paralyzes, and bleeds. And he also has an ability to summon a shadow army. And the shadow army grows exponentially as he kills other creatures and then makes them succumb to the shadows. So basically he can destroy an army to consume that army and then make it his own. And like, brother, there are so many named characters within his shadow army which each have their own abilities that like, when it comes to getting into Sung Jinwoo's entire arsenal, like, you just start going around in circles. You just start getting confused on like, what the fuck is Sung Jinwoo meant to do? What the fuck is he meant to like represent as a character? Nah, that's the thing. He represents absolutely nothing, because the whole point of Solo Leveling is that Sung Jinwoo is strong, and Sung Jinwoo is strong. And also, in case you didn't know, Sung Jinwoo is strong, brother. You can allow me an entire essay to write about Sung Jinwoo's list of abilities, and you would dead ass fall asleep. I am not even joking. Like, once I start talking about the summons, you will go. That's how you will sound on the other side of the classroom, I am telling you. Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter. Look, okay, let me tell you something. The bungee gum has both the properties of rubber and gum. Okay, that's enough trolling, right? But if you think there's if you do find the bungee gum confusing, just think of it as Spider-Man ++, right? So you can swing around buildings, you can swing around a bunch of places. Plus you also have like the extra elasticity of a rubber band, which allows you to shoot yourself around and shoot other objects around like a slingshot, and you can also like whip people with it. I think the bungee gum is best explained if you think it as bits of rubber that you can stretch and also make sticky. But you can also make it rubbery and like have a bunch of friction and all that shit. So like, the properties are interchangeable. Okay, I don't know. The more I try to explain this, the weirder it gets. I don't know, the best way I can put it is Spider-Man plus plus. Like, if you get it from just that, then you get it instantly. But if you don't, like, do you get what I mean? It's the type of ability that goes between I can explain this within 2 sentences, and I just can't explain this to you. Like, I'm gonna just like give up and say, just go watch the anime. But for me, I can digest what Hisoka's bungee gum does within 2 sentences. So I'll put this in 2 sentences. Hierophant Green from JoJo's Part 3. I'm gonna start off in the same way I did with Jinwoo. When we're talking about the potential man of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, we are talking about Noriaki motherfucking Kakyoin. Because Hierophant Green, like, if I'm not schizophrenic, Hierophant Green had this one ability where he can take over other people's bodies and basically kind of control them to an extent. But he's only used that ability, like, once. And that once was in his, like, introduction episode, when the very first episode that he appears in. And ever since that, he never uses that ability again. Brother, do you understand how useful that ability is when it comes to going on an adventure, trying to find the evil demon lord that the main character has an intergenerational rivalry against, who also leads an entire army of stand users? But Kakyoin could have used that ability in so many different situations, but all he used was the Emerald Splash. And the Emerald Splash is literally just a flurry of emeralds. Like, there's like throughout the entire series, Kakyoin just chose to be, he literally chose to be a Minecraft villager that can chuck emeralds at people. Brother, I can't, man. Bro, I cannot fathom the amount of fumble that Kakyoin's ability was. But when you have an ability that you use like literally only once, right? In the very beginning of the series, where we have this man get his first bit of screen time. I mean, like, I can't, bro. I just can't explain what the fuck Hierophant Green. Like, what is Part 3 even about? Bocchi from Bocchi the Rock. Brother, you know it's crazy when we're talking about a rock band anime, right? Where every single character is by every means human, or by every means supposed to be human, right? We're not talking about like a fighting anime where we're talking about supernatural abilities. We're not talking supernatural anything. It is literally just a schoolgirl anime with like a small rock band. And then Bocchi's over here, right? The author of Bocchi the Rock specifically states that she is not a human being. She is of a completely different build to the average human being. And let me elaborate on that, right? From the abilities that I know, she can glitch out in the face of reality. If you give her any exposure onto social media, she is going to glitch out in reality, and you will not be able to make physical contact with her. Another ability, she is also able to turn really small into this Tsuchinoko, which is basically like a mythical Japanese creature who is really small, and you gain luck from seeing that creature. But Bocchi is able to turn into a figure that's kind of similar to that. Another ability, she is also able to she's able to atomize herself into like a bunch of spores, where if you breathe in these spores, you automatically turn depressed. Brother, what is Bocchi the Rock even about? Look, I ended the last one with what is JoJo's Part 3 even about. But like, when we're talking about a rock band anime, or when we're talking about a motherfucker who can literally make people within a remote area hyper depressed in a matter of instance, like, how does that even work? Brother, I am an introvert, and I wish I had the same amount of abilities as Bocchi, because she is supposed to represent introversy in general or some shit like that. Brother, I wish I was able to just go poof at the moment at will. When I'm over here getting called by my friends to go outside, I wish I had the ability to literally just go poof, and then I would literally make somebody breathe in my air particles so that they become hyper depressed and stop inviting me. Brother, give me some of that shit. Give me some of that shit, man. But like, I can't explain this. And like, on top of that, she has insane talent in playing the guitar. I just can't, bro. I don't know how to explain what kind of entity you are in any way, shape, or form, but I am going to leave the top spot because We got some characters that you just can't beat. Brother, I am sorry for the spoiler alert, but like, there is going to be a character upcoming that just makes absolutely zero sense. Koro Sensei. Look, there was one time in my life where I used to think that this guy was just a tentacle monster that moves really fast, man. And then like, as the story progressed, he just gradually started pulling random ass abilities out of whichever tentacle that is his ass, okay? So like, apart from super speed, he's also able to shed his skin, and he's also able to shrink into a sphere. I'm gonna get into those in detail in a little bit, but like, just from the sounds of it, you can tell it's like some random ass shit. Okay, but like, one thing that people overlook about Koro Sensei is how tanky this man is. And what I mean by this is that there's literally like a specific kryptonite that you have to use, or like a kryptonite equivalent thing that you have to use against Koro Sensei to actually do damage to him. And even with said damage, he can regenerate it in like near instantly. And anything that's not kryptonite is completely out of question. I think his skin is made of some shit where he can literally melt down any metal and then like digest it like it's a McDonald's. So none of that ordinary weapon shit will work against him. I don't know about like heavy artillery. That probably won't work either. This guy can survive literally any form of damage apart from like being hit in the heart. Yeah, this man's pretty much like a tentacle vampire or like some kind of bullshit, right? Okay, let me get back to like the shedding skin part, right? He can shed his skin like once a month or some shit. And then he can use the old skin as like a membrane to shield himself from like large forces of that kryptonite. And like, that's another thing, bro. Like, this membrane thing has only been used once in the entire show. And then I think the replacement, or like the alternative, is that he can shrink into a sphere and become literally invulnerable. Yeah, remember that kryptonite shit that I said? Nah, fuck that. That don't work on him no more. He's like, once he turns into like a little bull, nothing works on him. This guy can survive like 5 different XK class world-ending scenarios, and he would come back after 24 hours completely intact. And like, look, as much of a bullshittery that all of this sounds, like, I wouldn't put this in the same tier as Bocchi, because like with Koro Sensei, I knew where he was at from episode 1, okay? Like, literally from his appearance, you can tell that this man is a monstrosity. But Bocchi, she's over here acting like a normal high schooler, where she can literally turn into, when she can literally evaporate into particles that give you remote depression. Look, that's the difference right there. That's like a problem of communication and all. But like, I can give me an essay and I can explain Koro Sensei's abilities. I'm gonna be real with you. Ajimu Najimi from Medaka Box. Brother. Okay, in case you have never seen this character before, I'm pretty sure when we're talking about Medaka Box, some people have seen this one character whose ability is literally all fiction. It is basically the biggest fuck you card, where if he deems a concept to not exist, it will not exist in that world. Right? It's such stupid ass ability like that. But nobody talks about Ajimu Najimi. Why? It's because she is physically stated to have over 1.2 trillion separate abilities. And I'm pretty sure within the series, she has revealed at least like a few hundred. Bro, what? And now you may ask, if you're using hundreds and hundreds of abilities in a singular episode, each of these abilities must be so minuscule in effect. Nah, bro, like it is so stupid. Just like, take a look at one of these manga panels, I beg of you. Like, some of these don't make sense. Brother, you are literally gunning somebody down. You do not need to use that many abilities. You need to read them all out for you. You need to hire like the voice actor for the main character of the 100 Girlfriends anime. I have not watched that anime, by the way, but I've seen that one scene where he compliments each and every single one of those 100 girlfriends. You need that guy to come over from his house directly to yours to physically read out every single ability that is on this one singular panel. She is literally gunning someone down. What do you mean, like, reality? Like, and you're gonna see some abilities like that are called hyper strength theory. Bro, it ain't that deep. Just cast a spell, throw a fireball. When we're talking a trillion abilities, you might let's talk about the mastery of all elements, not hyper strength theory. Bro, what? I'm not even joking. You are literally the reason why I decided to make this tier list, because I can't lie. I don't think anybody in the entire universe, except for like Nishio Ishin, the literal author, when he's like smoking on 10,000 milligrams of crack, only him in that specific state will know exactly what she does, or like the exact list of what she does, because 1 trillion! Ononoki from the Monogatari series. Okay, we are talking about another Nishio Ishin one right here. We're talking about the Unlimited Rulebook. And like, brother, Nishio Ishin comes up with such banger names for abilities that do basically nothing. Like when Ononoki used the Unlimited Rulebook for the first time, I think the first time she used this ability was in the second season, Monogatari series second season. Yeah, fun fact, Monogatari series second season is not the second season of Monogatari. There's actually like two or three other seasons that go in between Bakemonogatari and second season for you to get to the second season. Brother, explaining the watch order for the Monogatari series is more difficult than explaining any of the characters' abilities that are in that series. And Ononoki, when I heard Unlimited Rulebook, I was so hyped. I was so hyped at what she was gonna do. But it all boils down to super strength. It is literally super strength that's specifically on her finger, and she can kind of like she can morph her finger, which by extension also gives her super strength with her finger. Like that's basically how her abilities work. And like, brother, that is completely fine. That is completely fine for like an ability that is literally called the Unlimited Rulebook. Brother, you... When we're talking unlimited and when we're talking rulebook, we're gonna like I thought it was gonna be something to do with like just shaping reality, or like just adding rules to the entire world's principles, or something like great and something like free and omnipotent like that. Nah, it was literally just enhanced finger strength. Like, what do you mean? But her ability, yeah, is completely fine. I can explain, like, super strength on her finger. That's completely fine, bro. Kusuo Saiki. Okay, I take back whatever I said about how Jinwoo should have like a more sophisticated set of abilities, because Saiki over here being a shonen protag, and his introduction is followed by like an entire shopping list of his abilities. Yeah, bro, like literally from the first 5 episodes of the first episode of this show starting, this guy explains that he's able to use every single ability that starts with a telly, and every single ability that's got to do with like mind control. Now he has some of the most random shit as well. There's not even like I wouldn't even count as like a psychic abilities. Like when I think of psychic abilities, I think of telekinesis, teleportation. Okay, he has mind control fits in there as well, and he's got all 3 of them, right? Pyrokinesis I understand, but like, what do you mean you look at somebody and they turn into stone? Why'd you have like some random ass Medusa ability and then you just throw it in there like it's some common magic trick that some guy does? It's also kind of funny to watch how riddled this guy gets with his own abilities, because like I think another ability that he has is called psychometry, where if he touches something, he can basically look at their entire history. In the sense that like you get an entire lore dump of an object if you touch that thing. And I think this applies to people as well. Which is also why he has to constantly wear invisible gloves so that he doesn't directly touch anything and then accidentally use that psychometry ability. And I think there was like an entire 2 episodes talking about this ability. Yeah, that's the thing about Saiki, right? The entire show explains each and every single ability so well that if I were to talk about Saiki to somebody who hasn't watched it, I'ma just give you all 24 episodes of the first season and however many episodes of the second season. Like, I can just go by with just telling you to watch the anime. Like, by the time you watch every single episode, you're gonna come back to me and ask me no questions about his abilities, because all of it gets demonstrated in a really nice way. It's like going through the 6-hour coding lessons on YouTube, man. It's like one of those. Yeah, nah, you need an essay to explain every single one, but like, dog, just watch the show. Just watch it. Silverwolf. Alright, here's a hot take for you. I think Silverwolf is unironically the best reality warper in all of fiction, because how she warps reality is really unique, and she also uses it in a really weird way. And I'm pretty sure how she pulls this off is that she basically treats reality as a programming language. And whenever I hear that, I'm like, brother, do you understand how many things you have to factor in to actually like be able to program reality? Because I don't. I don't either. Apparently she does. Programming reality. I'm like, nah. I'm like, nah, what? How? That's just gonna be what my brain cells will consist of. It's just gonna be question mark. And like the crazy thing is that like Silverwolf has basically almost mastered this whole programming shtick, right? So like she's getting closer to the level where she can basically bend the course of fate itself. But then she uses all this power just to cosplay as Kamen Rider with an infinity gauntlet and also get every single gacha game with infinite currency. Yeah, nah guys, fun fact, if you guys want to get around the kernel level anti-cheat of Genshin Impact, there's a really simple solution. Yeah, it's to simply just program reality itself. Like, but what do you mean you guys are using reality plus or whatever the like Silverwolf? I can't with this motherfucker because she has so much potential, but it's like put in such a complex filter that I just won't be able to fathom. Right? Can I explain it to somebody? Probably. But like, would I be able to have the other guy understand what it can like, what you actually need to like? Bro, I'm getting a headache from speaking about his ability, bro. I just can't. And there you go. That's gonna be it for characters with abilities that I cannot explain. If you enjoy this type of content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to try and get more yapper content dishing out for you guys. Also, be sure to hit that bell button to stay notified because I've started my batch recordings once again. And there should be a few more videos coming up within the next couple of weeks. So do stay tuned for that. I also saw that I hit 300 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for that. My current objective for the end of the year, by the end of the year, I mean, is to hit my first 1,000. But like, I think we could go higher, bro. I think we can bump that up to 5k. What are you saying, bro? Do help me out on that, yeah? But that is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I shall see you guys next time.